give yourself credit for trying. If we never try, well, you never know. You don't know what you don't know. But yet we stop ourselves from the next level of life because we don't know what's going to happen. Well, that's the whole fucking point. Life is unpredictable, and it should be exciting for it to be unpredictable. We are back again. What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to this extraordinary experience that you're going to go through, spending some time with me. Wherever you are around the world, man, if you're on the bus, if you're driving, if you're walking. I remember actually starting the podcast 4 years ago, or back in 2019. And I was like, if you're on the bus, if you're on the train, if you're in the car, wherever you are, it's time to get motivated, time to get inspired. It's time to not give up. Okay, so we're going to be going through some amazing stuff today. Stuff that I don't even know is going to flow through me. You know, just so you know, guys, when I do my podcast episodes, when I show up and take action, it is not something that is pre-planned, much like my coaching as well. If you ever got the chance to work with me privately, you would notice, and you would be explained, because I would actually tell you that I don't follow a curriculum like a lot of life coaches out there. And I know this because when I actually was learning and actually starting to want to work with someone, and I went through a process where I was actually taken advantage of, but I was given a lot of resources, which was a bonus, right? So I did get something from that experience, which most of you know that I was scammed over $100,000. But through that experience, I also did learn a lot. It hurt, but I was also given a lot of different resources for life coaching through this experience. So I actually got to see the structure and all these different types of like ways of teaching, and what it means to step-by-step process for going through a program that is private coaching with a life coach. But it's not something that I actually use when I'm working with my private clients. It's actually for me, and it's the same thing with my group coaching. Like when I show up, and it's the same thing with the podcast. It's the same thing when I go live on all my social media platforms. It's the same thing when I do events. I really love being able to flow and being able to allow myself to be vulnerable, and to whatever's meant to flow through me, whatever is meant to be spoken about. For me, it's more about trust. It's more about trusting myself that in this moment right now, I'm able to give you exactly the right message that is meant to be spoken about. And I'm trusting myself to be able to do what I do best, which is speak and share and coach and train and motivate. So when I jump on a call with someone for the first time, for example, if they're working with me privately, I actually tell them, hey, this is how I work. I don't have a curriculum. I don't have a step-by-step process for you. I'm here to tap into your energy so that I can take from you what's happening, and then I work my way into like your life and give you the wisdom and the knowledge and the self-awareness and the keys and the tools to be able to make the right changes in your life. This is the same thing with the podcast. I love to just jump on, take action, trust that everything is meant to be spoken about, that's meant to be spoken about, and I'm just being myself. And this is where your freedom is, in being your true authentic self and trusting yourself, having confidence in your abilities of who it is that you are, that you're going to be able to express yourself in the exact way necessary for you to get the job done. So this is the challenge that most of us are struggling with in our life, is stressing so much about the fear of showing up authentically, being vulnerable. And I know that they say in terms of like the masculine side of things is like vulnerability is a weakness. And it can also be seen like that sometimes for women as well. But you know what? Vulnerability is also, there's a time to be masculine. There's a time to be strong. There's a time to show up. But there's also a very, very important time in your life to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And I was actually working with some of my clients yesterday, and we were talking in one of our breakout rooms about crying. When we cry, what do we do all the time? When we're releasing that emotion, it's like it's a form of embarrassment. And I see it all the time. Like as soon as you start getting emotional, you start to weep or cry or release, what do? You say sorry. Sorry. Almost like it's an offense. You've committed an offense in front of other people. It's almost like there's shame there, right? There's shame there that you are expressing emotion, you are being vulnerable, and now all of a sudden you have to apologize for being yourself to people who you're surrounded by in that moment. For me, that doesn't make sense. I don't know about you, but why are we apologizing for expressing ourselves? Why are we apologizing for releasing emotion, for being vulnerable? You know, we should be acknowledging that. We should be saying thank you. Thank you for holding space for me. The people that you're surrounded by that are witnessing your release or your emotion should be grateful that you have the confidence to be able to release that. You as a person releasing your emotions and crying, we shouldn't be discounting ourselves. We should be proud of ourselves. We shouldn't be apologizing to the people around us saying, I'm sorry that I'm crying. I'm sorry that you're being vulnerable. Man, that's a gift. It's a blessing to be releasing. It's a blessing to be opening your heart. And I think that in that moment of that emotion, just let it be. Like, don't even say anything. Just let yourself weep. Let yourself feel that. You know, if I'm there with you, you know, I will remind you that it's okay. It's okay to show emotion. Your feelings are real. It's okay to feel. It's okay to cry. I believe in you. Thank you. So the other part of the apologizing, and what I've learned from working with so many people now, being a life coach, is that I want to remind everyone straight away, as soon as I get on a call with someone and someone starts saying sorry for example, you talk, you share, and as soon as you start talking for a little bit longer than maybe 2 minutes, you start overthinking the things that you've been sharing, and you start going, you know, I'm going off track. Oh, maybe I've lost you. Maybe you don't understand what I'm talking. I think I'm rambling. Maybe I'm talking too much. That's a cause of overthinking, insecurity, and self-doubt in yourself. And then what we do is we doubt ourselves so much that we start apologizing and saying sorry for what it is that we've just expressed ourselves with. So basically, everything that you've just shared in the last 5 minutes, all of a sudden, you've just said sorry to yourself or to the other person for the things that you've been sharing, which is your authenticity, which is your truth. Now, if someone actually respects you and appreciates you, they're not going to be sitting there going, hey man, shut up, like you've been talking for too long. We don't want to hear from you anymore. They're actually going to sit there and allow you to just be yourself and to share. And as a life coach, I always have to step in and say, hey, don't apologize for being yourself. You're not rambling. Everything that you were sharing is valid. Thank you for sharing. And I learned this early on because we should not be apologizing for being ourselves. It's because of traumatizing relationships or experiences. It's because of bullying. It's because of, you know, people putting us down. It's because of fear. It's because of so much insecurity that we hold within ourselves that we then apologize to the world because we doubt ourselves so much. Because you're also doing a disservice to yourself. You're programming your mind all the time. Your subconscious brain is being conditioned every time you speak. And if you are continuously apologizing for being yourself, that's a very low vibration. That is really crap. That's not going to make your mind think very highly of you. You're going to continue to condition yourself that your information that you share, your wisdom and what you talk about and how you see yourself is not worthy of more than 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you're already overthinking. That's a huge sign for you to like pay attention, to go, man, like I need to do something about this. I need to build my self-worth. I need to build my confidence in myself. I need to become better at communicating. I need to learn to love and appreciate myself. Or it's a very big sign that if people are causing you to feel like you can't be yourself around them, that you have to stop yourself and go, I'm just going to stop there because I think I'm rambling, right? Because you're worried about what people are thinking of you. Well, that's not a very understanding and appreciative and safe environment. Those are not kind of people that you want to be around. Like, I'm around people that when I fucking speak, people listen. They don't stop me and go, hey, Luke, you've been talking for about 5 minutes now. Like, let someone else have a turn. I feel safe to be able to be myself because I'm selective, because I make the choice. I decide, who do I surround myself with? And if I choose to surround myself with specific people, guess what? I know that I'm going to be able to be my fucking authentic self. I ain't going to sit around and be a shrunken version of myself because, if I say something specific, I'm going to offend them. Oh, no. It's funny, I went to dinner with my family in Poland a couple of nights ago. My uncle was there and my cousins, and my Unlock Your Greatness live event in Sydney was amazing because my uncle actually was there. And I know that so many of us struggle with, our confidence and being our true authentic self, especially around our family. We're worried about like what they're going to think of us. Man, I get comments all the time, ladies and gentlemen, about, it would be so much nicer if you didn't speak like that with all these F-bombs. People have their opinions. Everybody has a way of self-expression. I like to use colorful language, as I say, when I feel like it. If I feel like speaking a specific way, I'm going to speak that way. That's me. That's where my freedom is, because I can be my true authentic self. Now, if you watch the replay or you came to Unlock Your Greatness in Sydney on the 4th of January, guess who was there? My uncle. He actually came. My uncle was there sitting in the back of the crowd. I went in there and I showed up. And whether he was there or not, I was being my true authentic self, because I could have easily gone, shit, man, Vujek's there. Don't swear as much. Like tone it down a bit because like maybe it's not going to look good for the family or whatever. Man, I walked into that fucking place and I tore the shit out of that stage. I spoke my truth. I didn't give a shit about what anyone thought about me, whether it was family, friends, I don't care. I got up on that stage, I fucking danced, and I did what Luke Mind Power does fucking best. Motivate. Be my true authentic self. If you don't fucking like it, get the fuck out. That is the mindset. That is, I believe, not that you need to speak like I do, but you need to have that kind of confidence and relentless kind of attitude with yourself, so that anyone who comes along and says, oh, you know what, the way you spoke, or you talk too loud, or you shouldn't wear that, is going to cause you to go, oh, you know what, yeah, maybe I'm offending them. Oh, maybe they don't like that. I've got to change that about myself. Or maybe I shouldn't speak up too much. Or maybe I shouldn't talk about that. Or maybe I shouldn't talk like this. That's where you lose yourself. So let's go a little bit deeper into the loss of your true authentic self. Because why would we even want to do that? Well, we would want to do that simply because we want to be accepted. If we grew up in an environment where we were never loved, appreciated, supported, cared for, if we grew up being rejected, for example, like the ugly duckling, your opinion doesn't matter, be quiet. Only speak when you're spoken to. Our innate nature is to feel connected, is to be accepted. We want to be a part of the community. So our family being our tribe, right? If you are not lifted up by your tribe, then you're still at the bottom, right? And naturally the inclination is going to be, I want to feel loved. I want to be accepted. I want to be appreciated. So then what happens? If you don't get that validation or that love and that appreciation from your family, from the people in your circle when you're young, then you grow up looking for that validation. And how do we do it? Well, be quiet, fit in, the need for acceptance, the need to feel a part of something. So if you don't talk too much, people will accept you. If you conform to how they want you to be and dress like they dress, talk like they talk, think like they think, do what they believe is right, well, then they'll like you. You'll be liked. And all that's showing is what you went through when you were a child, or you went through when you were a teenager, for example. If you were rejected, whether it was relationships or from your family, pushed away. So now you're constantly seeking that, which you don't have. You want to be accepted. So don't be too loud. Don't speak the way you want to speak. Don't be too confident. You'll come across cocky. Be humble. Be quiet. So this is part of the pathway to your freedom. It's being open to not shrinking yourself, but being yourself in the risk. This is the risk, and that's why one of my favorite quotes is risk everything to be yourself. If you are watching right now, I want you to write this in the comments. Risk everything to be yourself. Now, what is the risk of being yourself? The risk is that you will be disowned. The risk is that your parents will tell you not to speak like that. The risk is that you will be rejected. The risk is that you will lose people in your life because people they want you to stay a specific way. You're risking other people's opinions controlling you if you don't risk being yourself. Because people will look at you funny and go, who does she think she is? Who does he think he is? Your confidence will scare people. They're not used to you being confident, owning your truth, sharing your story. The amount of times people have said to me, especially when they start putting content on social media, a lot of my clients, oh man, I got a message from my freaking sister-in-law. Oh my gosh, I got a message from my uncle. Got a message from my brother or my sister or my friend. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You're such a hypocrite. Or, that's ridiculous what you're writing, and so much hate. And really all it is just a misunderstanding. Let me remind you that people will always judge what they don't understand. Those who judge don't understand. Those who understand don't judge. Even when people judge me for speaking the way I speak, I don't judge them for judging me. I don't need to. Everybody has their own opinion. It's great. If you don't like the way I speak, you don't have to follow me. You don't have to listen to my podcast. You don't have to follow me on social media. You don't have to like me. I have to like me. That's the number one priority in my life, is that I like me, that I love me, that I accept me, that I approve of me, that I give myself permission to be my fucking self. I'm not coming on here on social media platforms screaming and yelling, going, hey guys, please approve of me. Please give me permission to be Luke. Because if you guys don't give me permission, I won't be able to feel enough. I ain't here yelping and screaming and shit going, come on guys, please. Please let me be myself. Fuck off, man. I'm my fucking self. If you don't like it, you can piss off. That's what you should be fucking saying to people that fucking judge you for being yourself. So this is your message right now. If you're fucking insecure, you need to do some fucking work on yourself. If you ain't feeling enough, you need to do some work on yourself. Okay? If you don't feel confident in yourself, that just means there's stuff to work on. Because I remember when I would look up to people that were in higher positions than me, that were making more money than me. And I would think to myself, they were born like that. They were born with that confidence. And I was like, damn, I wish I had a bit of that. I wish I had a bit of that confidence. I don't know how to get it. Legit, that's how I thought, And that's why I always say that your thoughts create your reality, because I used to think in a limited way. When now the whole concept of open your mind, and if you change the way you think will change. So I started thinking differently and thinking like, hey, maybe I can build confidence. Maybe I can become a better version of myself. Maybe I can learn from other people who have got what I want. And that's why I say, don't take advice from people who haven't been where you're going. Don't take advice from people who don't have what you want. You want confidence? Take advice from people who have it, who are living it, who are breathing it. You want to become successful? Take advice from people who are successful. Don't take advice from people who are not successful, okay? Take advice from people who have what you want. It's one of the best fucking personal development rules that you can ever hear. Take advice from people who actually have what you want. That's the secret. That's where you're going to get all the magic. In between here and where you want to be, there's a long journey. There's a long road. There's a lot of failures. There's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of ups and downs. And then you start listening to someone who's like fucking 5 years ahead of you. That's a lot of time, man. That's why you invest in your personal development. That's why you invest in a coach. That's why you invest in yourself, so that you don't have to go through the next 5 years trying to figure it all out by yourself. You're actually learning from someone who's done it. That's why I have a business coach, because every single time there's something, I'm like, hey, bro, how do I do this? What do I do now? Like I got my business coach on Telegram, just fucking bang, send him a message, and then he tells me the next step. He tells me what to do. And that's just my way of fast tracking my success instead of trying to figure it out on my own. Like legit, man. Like when I was starting coaching, like I was on TikTok for like an hour and a half every night at 1 o'clock in the morning, living at my parents' house. Even my mum got the shits because she was like, I can hear you. What are you doing at 1:30 in the morning? I can hear you. You're too loud. Love you, Mum. Yeah, man, that's what I was doing, And then I was telling everyone, I had no strategies. I had no awareness of how to have a business or coaching business. I didn't know what to do, how to do it, how to be efficient. I didn't have a program. I had nothing. All I was doing, I was going live on TikTok and I was saying, guys, send me an email, lukemindpower@gmail.com. And I'll help you and I'll give you my link so you can book a call with me. It was the most inefficient way, but I had to do that to realize that I didn't know what I was doing until my business coach reached out to me. And I'm so grateful and blessed that he did reach out to me, because he goes, hey, I think, and it was his team actually that reached out to me like, hey man, we can see what you're doing on your social media platforms. I think we can help you. And I was like, hesitant. You know why I was hesitant? Because I'd just been ripped hard from all my cash. I'd just been scammed heavily. And I was on government benefits back then, 2021, early 2021, just coming off Centrelink, which is the Australian, I don't know, what is it? Like where you get money from the government when you got no money, for example. So at that time, and I had like $500 left on my credit card. And I'm sitting with my business coach and he's just shown me like how he can help me to start my coaching business. And he's showing me all this amazing stuff. And I'm like, damn, like this looks exactly like what I need. And then he told me the price at the end. And I was just like, shit. I was like, bro, I can't afford that, man. I can't afford it. So like legit, I had enough for 1 month, and I was so blessed because he gave me an opportunity, you know. He said to me, he goes, man, listen. I said, listen, I can't afford it. I don't have that much money, you know. And he said to me, he goes, look, man, he goes, I'm going to do something for you, but under one condition. You have to promise me that when you become successful, that if you come across someone who's struggling or who's not in the best financial situation, that you put your hand down and you also try to lift them up and you give them the best possible opportunity to work with you. And I go, okay, what is it? And so he gave me an opportunity, he gave me an offer that I could afford, you know? And that's how I started. Like I started from nothing, you know? And I really didn't know how it was going to work, but all I knew was that I had something that I didn't know how to put it all together. And that's how he helped me, you know? So it's amazing what can happen when you actually connect with genuine people. Because there's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of people that really don't have the answers for you, but they say that they do. They don't have the right programs. They don't have the curriculum. They don't have, the right systems. And it's so easy to fall into that trap of working with the wrong people like I did. You give them all the money and you don't get the results. So that's why I pay it forward. That's why I believe in karma. That's why I believe in doing the right thing. Because now it gives me the power to be able to help as many people as I can because he helped me. And this is how we change the world, little by little, taking action like that, man, what a blessing. And I was actually talking to my manager today as well. Funny enough, I remember another friend of mine, Kobe Watts. Some of you guys would know him. He is like the king of ADHD content on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Now he's doing a lot of DJing. But in 2022, he actually lived with us for about 5 weeks. But prior to that, in 2020, around 2020, he messaged me. At the time, he had about 80,000 followers on Instagram. And he messaged me when I had like 5,000 followers on Instagram. And at the time, then you still had to have over 10,000 followers if you wanted to share a story and put a link in the story for people to click on the link. And I didn't have more than 10,000. I only had like 5,000 or something. So I was a bit stuck and I was thinking of like buying followers so that I could get over 10 grand so that then I could put the link in. And for anyone who's listening, I would highly, highly encourage you to keep your social media platforms organic because it keeps you authentic and real. You don't need to have 50,000 followers. Most people don't understand how Instagram and content like that works. I can read your profile easily and I'll know straight away if you got fake followers. And that's why I don't mess with a lot of people because a lot of people DM me and they want to do podcasts with me. They want to do lives with me, but their content is their accounts are fake. They've just paid for their followers. I don't fuck with that. My content is original, it's organic, and I only have built my content and built my platforms from real people. It's not fake. Nothing is fake on my platforms. And so when Kobe reached out to me at the time, he actually was able to like help people to get these fake followers or build your followers and get your accounts over a certain amount. And he was like, hey man, I can get you over 10K, blah, blah, blah. And you'll get where I'm going with this story. And he wanted like $300 or $400 or $500 for that. And what I said, so this was before the coaching, right? So this must have been maybe January 2021 or something. And I'm going to find the DM because that was the start of our like friendship and connection. He messaged me and he said, I said, look, how much is it? Because I was thinking about, just going over 10K so I could put the link in my story. And he told me it was like $500 or some shit like that. So obviously, maybe he wasn't in the best place either. He was trying to make some money. And I said, nah, I can't afford it, man. I'm broke. And it reminded me of where I came from. And I was like, you know what? And I said this to my manager, I'm going to go back to that Instagram chat and I'm going to screenshot that and I want to share it because I want people to know where I came from. Most of you or some of you probably just see the 700 plus thousand followers on Instagram or over 400,000 on Facebook or 1.2 million on TikTok, but we never see like the story. We never see like where you came from, where you started. How did you grow? What are the failures? What are the lessons? What are the challenges that you faced at the beginning? Where did you start? And all of this for me is like, I've got screenshots of all these different like screenshots of my socials. My Dream Chasers Facebook community has over 22,000, nearly 23,000 people. Once upon a time that had no people, just me. So, everything big starts small. It's so easy to discount yourself or to even run away from your dream because let's face it, social media is a big part of our lives. I would invite you that if you want to create an online business, you can. You're not too old. It's not too late. Get all that bullshit out of your head. If you want to create an online business where you can live from wherever you want to live and travel the world, you can do it. I didn't believe in it. I didn't think it was possible. I'm living and breathing it. If you listen to my podcast, you can see I'm in Australia. I'm in the US. I'm in Dubai. I'm in Poland now. I'm in freaking Latvia. I'm going to Germany next week. Like this for me was like, I couldn't have unrealizable a few years ago. I would look at people on social media and see digital nomad or people making money online and shit. And I'm like, as if that's possible. It's a scam, So I hope that you guys, since you've been listening to the podcast and you've been following me for a while, even if you just joined us now and you've been following me for a day or a week or whatever, do your research on me, of course. Go on Google and type in my name and see all the shit that's on the internet about me. Go and look at all my social media platforms, listen to my podcast. And so you can learn that this dude is actually the real deal. This dude's actually like showed up. He's stayed consistent. He's done all the work. Like he's got credibility. There's trust that's built in this space and this time that has been invested into building all of this for it to become real. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. And I believe that everyone has a place. There is enough people in this world for you and your content. Some people are meant to just have 10,000 and grow 10,000 followers every year. Some people grow 1 million every year. If you're out there posting content, it's up to you to do the research. It's up to you to learn from YouTube and type in how to grow my Instagram channel or TikTok channel or ask the questions. It's up to you to, like, there's a Benjamin something, I can't remember his name. I would learn from him because he would teach me how to do TikTok. I go on to YouTube and type in how to grow my YouTube channel or how to grow my TikTok channel or how to create content on TikTok or how to do viral videos on TikTok. And there was a guy, I remember 2021 or 2020, I was learning from him. His name's Benjamin something on YouTube. And I would learn from him. You have all the resources, all the information at your fingertips. And if you are making excuses and like, ignorance is bliss. The way you think about the possibilities of your life is everything. Okay? If you think, it's going to take too long, then you're fooling yourself. Because, time's going to go regardless. So you might as well, like, do something with it. The time is going to tick anyway. Like, you can either be 12 months ahead or you can get to 12 months down the road and go, oh man, I wonder what would have happened if I started 12 months ago. And let me tell you that once you start the journey and you take action, you'll be glad that you started 12 months ago. Like if I think about it now and I think about the difference between 5 years and 6 years, that's a long time. I'd rather now be 6 years in than be 5 years, because I know one of these years that I went through, I had so much growth, learning, experiences, failures. I'm so grateful. But everything happened the way that it happened. It was meant to happen the way that it happened. All the relationships I went through, every experience that I went through, all the bullying, all the emotional trauma all the abuse that I went through as a child, everything has happened on purpose. Feeling neglected by my parents, all that stuff, man. Like, not feeling appreciated or loved, or having that validation from my family or whatever, doing this kind of work and me growing into this person. All of it was a part of my success. And that's why I always stick to this premise and belief of everything happens for a reason. It's a level of mindset. It creates inner peace. It creates peace, not just inner peace, but it creates peace in your life, because you're able to really self-reflect on these experiences and things that you've been through in your life and realize that everything was a lesson, and realize that all these experiences were happening for you. Not necessarily like with a hammer going, I'm going to hit you over the head. No, I'm going to fucking hit you again. I'm going to crack you there. Yeah, I'm going to fucking hurt you again. No, it's not necessarily. It's like experiences that are coming, that are molding you and shaping you. And they will mold you and shape you depending on how you learn from them. If you don't learn from them, then they'll fuck you up. Simple as that. And I can appreciate that. But that's why you do listen to a podcast like mine, because it's going to motivate you, inspire you, and get you out of your comfort zone and push you a little bit further. And it's going to like rev you up a little bit, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm listening to this shit. Damn, I need to do something. And then there's this sense of like, purpose and fulfillment that happens when you start to listen to, motivation and something that you resonate with, because you're like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. It sounds like he's talking to me. Damn, And then you want to make change, because you realize that change is what you're afraid of. But really, when you do overcome that fear of change, you start to realize that growing is actually fulfilling. Change is actually part of your evolution and your ascension to the next level of your life. And many of us have just been staying at one level, and that's why we're depressed. We're in a really anxious state. We're unhappy. Shit's not going the way we want to go. And that's what you need. That's all the red flags. That's all the signs. The shit's not going the way that it's supposed to go, because you're not changing. You're not aware. You're not self-aware. You're in your own way. You're stuck in an old way of thinking. Whether that's, what is my family going to think, or whether that's the fear of change, or the fear of the future, or the fear of what's going to happen if I do take action, what's going to happen if I do show up for myself, or I want to change, and it's just a reminder that, change is actually really healthy. It's positive. It's good. Give yourself credit for trying. If we never try, well, you never know. You don't know what you don't know. But yet we stop ourselves from the next level of life because we don't know what's going to happen. Well, that's the whole fucking point. Life is unpredictable, and it should be exciting for it to be unpredictable. When you go on this journey of growth and change and moving forward, it becomes unpredictable because you don't know who you're going to meet. I've started working with someone who I met in Dubai. And if I hadn't moved to Dubai and lived there, I wouldn't have met this person, and something new wouldn't have started happening in my life. Now I'm working with my nephew. Like, there's so many things that happen because you take action. Many of us are not taking enough action. Many of us are just in our own way. Many of us are just continuing to play out that stupid story in your mind that you're not good enough, you're not intelligent enough, you can't do it, you can't be more, you can't change, you can't get out of this, whatever's going on in your life. And so we stay stuck. So I really, really invite you to know that if you're stuck, if things aren't going your way, that's good. I mean, things don't always go my way as well. But then I look at them and I realize that there's a reason for it. There's another lesson. There's something I've got to learn from this. Something I've got to deal with. And it's just being open-minded to it. And the more that you open your mind and not be ignorant and take action, because remember, the treasure you seek is hidden in the work you're avoiding. Everything you want is on the other side of action. The next level of life is on the other side of the bullshit story that you keep telling yourself as to why you can't have it. And sure, it's the emotional part of being vulnerable, of sharing your story, of opening your heart. But as one of my shifus and masters in Kung Fu said to me back in 2019 when I was in the Shaolin Temple in China, in Kunming, he said, the bigger your heart, the bigger the stage. And many of us have closed our hearts, which is because of fear and pain and our adversity and our own thoughts and insecurities, is the reason why we are stuck in a limited life when really you came here to prosper and thrive. So, what are you going to do about it? It's up to you, man. You can either live your dreams or live your fears. The choice is yours. Guys, that is my time for today. Thank you for joining me on this amazing podcast with this technology that we have to connect with everyone all around the world. It's such a blessing. It's a blessing to be alive. Please do not give up on yourself. I believe in you. You have so much power within yourself that you don't even realize yet. But the moment that you say yes and you start building yourself up again and taking more action, so many things will start to change and go in your favor. I believe in you. Keep taking action. And guess what? I will see you on the next episode. Adios.